tried to bloody help me just a minute ago. Right, this mail has turned up to repair the damage, and it's been reported in Home Group Limited in the East UK that what's happened in this block of where I live as a disabled woman in a wheelchair. It is reported as criminal damage by Northampton Police, and that's put me at risk. And they have reported and taken on board that my private life friend is a carer at 8 o'clock this morning. What she saw at the door, you can see a peephole at the door there, was my neighbour, so they caused that, and they've used bricks to smash in the door and the block main door and blokes outside doing the boarding up carpenter. They won't repair my wet room, but they will come out and do this. He said, why aren't the able-bodied people in this flat, blocks of flats where I live bothered to report this? No one did, apart from me. And I'm in my dressing gown, my mate's behind me in the kitchen, 2 witnesses, and I'm in the dark because I don't got 2 lights, and it's me and Super Pete and Adrian in the wheelchair. It's all dark now, isn't it? The board all this up. And there's 2 bricks outside there in the soap area in Main Street there where the public building is. It's got a great big CCTV camera, 5G style camera, CCTV type camera, but none here. It's all in the hallway outside my flat. That's the individual where he lives. That says Matt there. And already reported it to the statute system. Home Group Limited, Newcastle head office call centre today, and they treated it. I've got a crime reference number, and unfortunately I'm trying to find someone to leave. This is one way to move me out, is it? And the guy said, certain individual neighbour came in the block to see this. He put bricks through it. That certain neighbour knows people in the area in Cotton East, United Kingdom, my area. I can't let them in, they expect me to let them in. I'm in a wheelchair. This is what they don't do. They can't get back in. My buzzer's on. I'm in a wheelchair and expects me to answer. I'm in dressing gown and not decent. And this is what my principal is when I dealt with before, treating me like no lights come on from it. I'm streaming this like this. Can you get in?
Sorry to disturb you. The door shut behind me, didn't it? Oh, I've got to put a stone there. Sorry about this. There's one thing. Probably kicking that in. You alright?
Yeah. And that's what my social worker said. Why isn't there somebody in this block with a broom can brush up the grass for me?
Hello.
It's so, have you noticed that people look after themselves and out of work and busy, and there's no sense of community anymore around here?
Well, you would have thought there should have been me.
There used to be, over the years, a community kind of thing, and these lights don't stay on, do they, for you? You're in the dark.
Alright.
Watch your hands on the glass.
My knees.
And your knees, yeah. And that's a security door, isn't it?
I know. Nice door this, isn't it?
Yeah. Bit heavy.
Come on. Fingers.
you're gonna leave the bricks out there?
No, I'll get rid of them.
Right.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I don't want to get it again tonight.
Oh my God. That's the last thing. Enough of that. Stop. You've been working here for years, haven't you?
Who?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought. I've never seen this happen in all these years I've been here.
I've been in and out St John's Court doing empty properties and that. But I've never seen this before, not around here.
Exactly. And that character of that neighbour is absolutely not like him, so I don't know what the hell's going on with him.
You never know, do you?
No. And what got me, I said to the police on the phone, there's a great new, one of those new smart cameras, CCTV, right opposite the slope. I left my notice on the door. Can you reach that off? And I had a medical delivery. That note about in a minute. Yeah, that camera. I said, I don't know if you caught anything, because it can zoom in, that technology they got.
Yeah.
And whether or not they caught anything, I don't know. Because it's this angle, the way it's angled, this slope, isn't it?
I doubt it.
Yeah. It's getting darker now, isn't it?
Alright. Getting hot now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're on the crane.
Okay, I'm going to go in. So can you get in and out all right now?
Now, as soon as I've put this last screw in, sleep up, I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your help.
You're welcome. So, basically, you can't repair that on the wet room. But that was a repairman from Property Mighty Service Limited, trying in the dark note to repair it as a criminal damage. That happened this morning between the hours of 5 and 7. By my neighbour opposite, and he's out, not there now. He's gone out. There's his delivery, disappeared off the face of the earth. Right. And I just got a text from the neighbour upstairs, because all the neighbours are coming out and seeing now. And my neighbour didn't ring home group because they just don't seem to respond. So what I say, if you know what I mean, but they came anyway. I haven't texted my neighbour, it's criminal damage. He didn't report it, my neighbour. He was above me in the top floor flat. And I'm the one that's to report this as disabled lady. I do, and it's now called a criminal damage case by the police. That's why I haven't tried to say anything too much about this, in case it's a criminal investigation, if they do anything. I just texted him and said, you may be needed as a witness only because you heard what I did at the same time, and what I did, and it's now be a criminal. It's criminal by police. Home group treating this as criminal. See, I can't spell criminal. And whether or not they do anything's another story, but criminal damage. And that's 2 texts just sent in, and it's 7:30 now. I need to get my smoothies and stuff from my dental infection. It is an lady that's unfortunately ill pardon health, and it's another not very good. It'd be an adult safeguarding concern probably being raised because of this now. Somebody's could have been, because they can't prove it's that guy, but on their records they put down it's him that's done that oppositely. And that's another reason, well, they could go on with someone else to live, then so be it. But it might mean need at the emergency adult safeguarding referral because of this done. And I'll text this care applicant in my area, of course, because this is a serious crime and damage event happened. And by 4:30 I rang the police in my area and housing call centre, and 2 bricks are used to break glass by my wheelchair access of glass by hallway inside, health and safety inside. This never happened here before, and that's what just that guy has just said. All these years he does void properties and do repairs and gut them out. In all the years he's been working in this area in the UK for this housing company, he's never seen this before. And that's his comments. And he knows my other neighbours around here too. And my other knows a neighbour that tried to get in just now to see what's what. You don't live in this block. He's well connected with certain people I know in the area, so I ain't gonna say much about that. And I said, oh, I'm in my dressing gown or not, I'm a bit late to respond to what he wanted because I'm not well enough. I'm just too upset, extremely upset by it all. And unfortunately, what it means, well, what it says, go on the statute housing system as I need to be found in that seat, but it's probably a safe place to live. So if it means that, it means that. I don't like the idea, but if it has to be, it has to be. Because I do not want to be living unsafe. So my friend's going to concentrate and get my luggage and making sure I've got the necessary things there in case I have to leave out emergency. I've got grandchildren, I've got family. They don't contact me to tell me am. I've tried all these appointments. So I just got a text from my neighbour. So they should you know what it was. And I did hear the noise. I hope they do something about it to be sure. Yeah, thanks. So this will be hopefully the end of getting rid of this place, and wherever I end up, it's just going to make do. I'd rather be somewhere safe. It's not giving in, I just don't need this. And unfortunately, being left like this for over a year, not being repaired, and medical equipment everywhere, you know. And this, all he's doing is putting these, that kind of wooded floor plank on the main outside door. And I've been left like this for a year. They don't want to repair because they want me moved out. And the national process for everything going on for Today People UK is to find someone else in an institutional type environment, whatever that's meant to mean. So the housing outcome is now going to be changed in the Care Act 2014 working with public servants now, because it's going to be an adult safeguarding section 42. Care Act 2014 statute law, because I'm the victim directly affected by what's happened to the criminal damage, although it's in the criminal, but it was right by my bloody flat door, and I was in bed. What they do is in my flat. You see, I've said this in the meetings about what if I had a fire, I wouldn't be able to get out, and what could I? Because I need 2 people to hoist me in my hoist that's soon behind me, and the lifeline was connected, but I needed it sorted. And unfortunately, I just turn the light on. So the incident number, I'm gonna. Oh, where's my food? Hold on. In 2013. I know they wanted me moving out of here, but that's ridiculous the way I think it set somebody up. I just had medical deliveries. I haven't been. I've got a suitcase on the left hand side that needs to be rechecked out. And so I've got the incident number. Pen's bloody working, my bloody flat. Police incident number in my area. Well, the second video today, 14th night, 2018. A serious incident. Criminal damage. It's 3:40. 4:30 this afternoon. Now it's 7:30 in the evening. And they might not take on the fact of the antisocial behaviour issue too, because they could say to this statute or complaint I've had, and this particular Home Group Limited head office in Newcastle, and this is block of flats in UK where it's owned by Edda's National Social Housing Company, and the area in-house stage 2 complaint, and it could have easily been set up. I haven't got any evidence of all this. Could have been related. I just have to go on almost unfortunate. Woken up at 8 o'clock and by 7 p.m. and hearing the large bang, and it's at 4:30 ran the police, and then at 4:50 Home Group Limited call centre. It's a call centre now. By 7:15 Mighty Property Services Limited repair come out. It's not very good when I've been out in hospital for a week and this happens. And on the very Friday that I was meant to have a meeting with these public servants in my area, and they kept changing the times on me yesterday, all past week especially. and subject of the Care Statute Law Act 2014. And if you don't know about, watch videos, even in the United Kingdom, wherever you are, is affected by disability. Be careful. If you also know other subjects, maybe you're just researching socially about subjects you might be interested in, that can be taken out of context if you report anything. I don't say there isn't any lawful remedy, because when you're complex, they use this word complex disabilities. And it is, unfortunately, my reality is that it's my birthday as well in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. And this is how this affects me. My situation, on top of why then the Sopley police won't do anything, is a vulnerability, high medical needs, care needs, personal nature. And within the Quality Statute Law 2010, Section 2224, the reasonable adjustments has always been an issue with anyone I'm dealing with. And that gentleman out there, I'm trying to be polite, but he knows it's very, very difficult, my situation. But they're able-bodied, and he works by the area, in my area, housing employee division, I suppose you could call it, for this company is called Peterborough. But they all work online on their computers, online, and they're all like employed as self-employed, because their contract for employees is via Home Group Limited. And then what they do, any social housing in the UK, they subcontract out repair works to another company, and this one is well known, and it's Mighty PLC, but they have a division for social housing repair contract, and this one is for Property Services Limited. And this guy turned up, he knows my neighbour of Stuart, and my neighbour I've known for years, before I become disabled in my old house, years ago. Now how this, it could be connected, who knows, but the flashback and trauma related effect is because I had a double glazed old 3-bedroom house, beginning of the year 2009. 3 men did the same with bricks and broke in the stair. It's a 3 stairs, so I had to run up to my bedroom. Then, one man had something in his pocket, like a knife. That was in 2009. Do you imagine how traumatised you can be by that effect? The police did their best. They turned up very quickly. It was a 999 call then. And that's how it led me to go into emergency housing. Temporary housing is in what's known in them days, all those years ago, as 1 room with no OT aids, no space, and I just had a knee up, and that didn't work, and I had 1 crutch and paperwork on me. If it wasn't for my late mum at the time checking on my old house and checking on my cats I had no time to move my belongings, no time to recycle. It's a 3-bed house, you can imagine it, all the rooms and stuff you got, and a downstairs storage. There's a lot of stuff that's left behind because it was deemed my life at risk, and I could not be offered anywhere near the same location. That's why I had to be careful where I bidded in that particular year, where I could find. And even the old social workers, the old system and the social care system then didn't even help me bid. I was left on my own with no internet, and if it wasn't at the time for kind of family members trying to help me the best you can, the beginning of that year too. I don't know what I would have done, but there was meant to be sheltered housing. There wasn't no sheltered housing, no available. Even ground floor flats had to be ground floor. There wasn't available until I saw this one advertised where I am now, and it was claimed to be adapted. That's how I end up here, for disabled people with needs. But when I moved in, I wasn't in a wheelchair, you see. As soon as I moved in, bad luck or what, by the 3rd of November 2009, I got run over by a car. And by 2010, I ended up in a wheelchair. They didn't x-ray me on my body, on my neck and my head and my spines, my injuries I sustained. And I had to go to specialist hospital, specialist London hospital, further tests. And that's when I got all these extra medical reports ever since, of all the other personal, medical, physical disabilities I've got. I wouldn't get assessed with all these over the years, for all these occupational therapy reports, if things aren't the way they are in serious situation. So that's my old home and how I moved here. And ever since I moved here, they've been trying to get me moving out. Ever since become wheelchair dependent, Home Group Limited, I've had numerous reports, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013 occupation therapy reports. Each one of them got rejected by this housing company employees, same ones I've been with all these years on. And claiming this flat is ground floor flat, structurally not possible. Never was it built, the kitchen area, to for wheelchair standard. None of the heights, none of it, even for sight problems. Say you got whatever other disabilities other than physical, is not cleared up. The whole block or this individual flat for those with other types of disabilities. So because of what happened before my old life and my old home, I added on to the post-traumatic stress anxiety as well. The shock or trauma related to that created other personal diagnoses, and the shock of being run over added to that trauma again. So repeated trauma basically affects on the psychological mind as well. Then the physical reductions in the health. Okay. Then the complexity of finding then a care company goes bust and then you're displaced from your home. That's where the concern I have about current issue with the displacement from my home. So today's serious crime, criminal damage towards me of a serious nature, of a cruel way to get me out my home when there isn't anywhere else to move, and I have a secure right to be here since 2009. To have 2 bricks put through that main area, slope area, disabled glass window, to all the glass go outside in the hallway by my home. It's now the police classed it as a criminal damage, and the housing is classes as a serious criminal damage, and the individual lives opposite me, who's allegedly responsible. And in the same block where I live. So the statute law, how it works now, unfortunately, with the complexity in my personal situation, like thousands of people in my, perhaps like me, UK, they have to go on adult safeguarding now, and that you don't get a choice where you live. That has to look at your health, social care. It's got to the first point is your safety. And then obviously your care needs. It's very, very going to be very difficult for the social workers and everybody working together now. When it goes into Section 42, the Care Act 2014, that goes into what's known in my area, and I had to read up about all this before. I'll guarantee you it will go this way. It will be a meeting up with a panel. It's called a safeguarding board, adult safeguarding board. They have ones for children, for adults. And they're meant to include you, and it's serious. It includes every single representative of the public sector side. So you've got the housing, you've got the health, you've got the police, you've got any NHS body like services you're trying to access. They have a representative, and they will just go by the book. So all I'm saying is, as it's not a great way to move on. Will this be now a way to find somewhere else to move, that I will get what I need and care and move on and start a new life? It's not a great way to go about it, is it? To have this happen today, for that to happen. No. But at least I'm aware how they have to work by statute law. And this individual, I believe, was used to create this. And if it doesn't go to that extreme, then yet this adult health, social health, they call it healthcare professional and a job role social worker, will have a duty of care to raise adult safeguarding concern. And they did this when I ended up in hospital. That was only the last video of that one, was my sister got a text misread wrong. When it goes into the statutory framework of, like I just said, that will mean they'll have to look at everything again. Every damn thing in my private life. Yeah. So today was like, I never for months had my neighbours like, hey, text me for 4 months. So I know from gut feeling and from my journals I write and keep details of a fact of evidence, first-hand knowledge. And the way the psychological like change in meetings on me, especially when you're going through a period with thousands of people like me perhaps, with other subjects that are complex, financially side of things. They're going to use this to suggest, I wouldn't be surprised by next week, they'll be suggesting to convene as adult safeguarding. And I could jump to the wrong conclusions on this, you could say, but I trust my gut feeling on things. There's also this NHS side of it in my area, UK. It's NHS England funded medical practices. This male being appointed as accountable general practitioner, GP, doctor. He's one that tried this on me in 2017, a safeguarding adult referral, which wasn't even based on the serious situation I'm going through legitimately right now. So I was able to rebut all that, but how he got appointed recently and how it could be coincidence, you could say, but I've got all documentation, unfortunately, of evidence on what it's called long-handed. Certain things behind the scenes ain't going to make public what I know he was behind with. And my data recently in June 2018 being shared, medical data, without the process that should have been done properly. So everything with these past months been leading up. And when you do your journals and get your dates and times, you start linking up the dots. So it's not an isolated incident today, what's happened. This is the last straw. They obviously, I just find it so sick that they can use other individuals. Because this man, he's never done this ever before. He's never, ever, I mean, he's just obnoxious, yeah. And he gets drunk, yeah. But he's never would do this to me. Never. All these years I've known him, not to speak to personally, but observe him and see him about, he never would do such a serious thing like this to me. So somebody has asked him, you don't even know. You hear about things that happen behind the scenes. How can you really prove it without sounding like you've lost the plot? Not one able-bodied neighbour in my block of flats reported this. That's alarming. That is so alarming. And if I need to move, then there's no planning, there's no time because of this, what's happened today. And if I'm wrong, okay, I could be. If I am wrong, I'll link it up the dots like this because of the trauma effect today. Then I'm still, you have to plan carefully how to help me to move on. Well, the documentation I found out about the new model of social housing is not what you think it is for disabled people in the UK. And especially with the new models of rewording statute law, going through House of Commons and statute law and other subjects I won't go in now right now. It is sick. I am so sick and fed up with everything I don't know of natural health and how to treat people, especially the fact of my mum's death. How she went out her way. How she's such the good parts of her characteristics. And she's taught me, and I treat people the way they treat me. She's always taught me. And it's going to be a while to try and forgive those that are transgressions, as still are against me. And it's still going to be hard. But I'll get there. I'm determined to. I'm determined to be positive. It's going to be hard. And if this is my unfortunate situation that's affecting me, there's people worse off than me that are homeless, you see. People worse off that can't even speak. You see? I'm not giving in. It's not my way of giving in. But these statutory men and women in their job roles will see it that way. Oh, we've got what we wanted. But no. Your home is where you feel your heart is. If you don't ever realise that by now, no matter whether you're disabled, whatever situation, spiritually, I've learned this for years, and very good people got to know online. There might be different parts of the world, but consciously we're all connected. I'm holding on to that because I know from experience, and things are tighter in finance, in public sector side, especially in my area. These men and women on the ground level are trying to do their best in their job, know too well that the managers, the CEOs, the board of directors are the ones making profit, not ordinary men and women just working, doing the job. So, but they know they have to use the statute law as serious situations that occur. And this is just the last straw, by the way. That's it. So now the job will be now trying to make sure my belongings are gone through, checking I've got the necessary things in case I need to do an emergency move in a temporary place because of what's happened today. I would be too surprised. And I'm not going to turn it down. I just need to be careful where it is because I still need housing, folk support. I need all these kind of services, what's available in the short, because you won't have access to internet. And then it's about how can you access the operations you need, the dental side, for example. It's all these things I said for all these meetings, I need these outcomes. And how can they be met if there's all these cutbacks? And when, unfortunately, these recent 3 days of emails in a week, setting up terms that I require to help me to, meet their requirements of duty of care, conjunction with the housing. No, it's not there. And I don't know, by the sound of the social worker today, I knew she meant well. I generally know that now, much more, because I didn't realise that she's at home. She took the call, and she got her own personal commitments. So, we are living, if you don't realise, a part of what's happened to me today to me, if you don't realise the serious implications on many other subjects, not just this I'm talking about today. I do know about. I just can't talk about it much anymore. The man's now just boarded up and cleaned up outside. He's moved off in the van now outside the car park where I live. The time now is 8 o'clock and I need to go. So, I have done my best to work with people, and unfortunately they have to go out their way and use this situation. And that man went straight to my neighbour behind me to come and try to get entry to this block of flats. That man that caused it has not been back in this block all day because I've been in all day ill. I can't really explain how I really feel. So what happens, adult safeguarding? They go to your doctors first to gather the information, your social worker, their care advocate. I wondered why they put a different one on me, but I've linked it up. It could be a coincidence as well. Excuse me. So feeling unwell physically. The dental infection gets in your body, you see. I'm at risk of having another setback in my physical health and end up back in hospital, and I have to be so careful. And this adds to strain. And unfortunately, my private life friends, informal care, they call it, statute law, are trying to help me, you see. I will. I know I will. I've come over worse than this in my life over the years, you know. It doesn't help for this to happen again in a serious situation like this. And affected me this way. Trauma related, eh? You look at the subject of trauma, the definitions of these words. I've got this manual in front of me, this book. So how does this affect me when you already got these trauma effects in your life and the criminal damage and how it happened and affected me? Or still is, obviously, you know. The mind is a strange, complex thing. The chemical, electrical side of the mind. And then your physical health can affect your mental health. It's all interlinked. And then your home environment also can affect your mental health and physical health, which it has. That's ended up in hospital by the physical effects of the mould and the stinking of the water and flooring. You just go back on this channel on the subjects of housing disrepair and you see I've been legit in every bloody video. So, when you're affected by trauma, you affect the behaviour, fear going out, and it triggers that off worse. Then when you're going through DWP subject, or the financial side of it all too, is there any recent events that's affecting you? So what will these people behind the scenes be looking for now? I'll be calling up the crisis line for psychological help. Doesn't say distress by it all. Would I do that? No. Because good people I've learnt about natural remedy, meditation spiritually. I'll be doing that tonight, subconsciously. That helps. I'll be doing the tapping of the acupuncture, I can't pronounce that word, where you tap on certain parts of your body. don't need medication, it's all natural. I was trained in reflexology and natural health years ago before I ended up in a wheelchair and got unwell. I've set up a new channel. I'll be going live with that at the weekend now. And it's affecting people with disabilities to map my journey from here until future now. So this helps in the positive light, how I've come from able-bodied and all these experiences and how I'm going to try overcome things now. It won't be easy, but I'm going to try and work with these men and women trained in their field. And it's all against my better judgment, but I need to do it to progress in the limited time I have on life, on earth. We've all got limited. We're all born. We live. We work. We end up getting ill sometimes, unfortunately, and then we die. It's like a repeated cycle of life, a pattern, really, if you think about it. So yes, this is extremely traumatizing, extremely upsetting and distressing. And knowing you trust your gut feeling, whatever you can do. Although if you don't know how to do that, it's a process. Intuition, you trust your gut instinct. And also remember in statute law, they go on facts. So try not to elaborate on anything, which I haven't done today. I never do. I've learned a long time ago about that. From good people and their good videos and information. There are bigger subjects beyond your comprehension you may not even be aware of. I do. But I don't go on this channel about that. I keep that private. The main point is now, I know they won't take any action against this particular man. They never do. Never have. Every time I reported anything. They've used my past serious complexity and my psychological, physical disabilities against me. They shouldn't, but that's what they do. As an unreliable witness. Yeah, that's how they use it now. And more so than you can imagine. Oh, she's vulnerable. Or he or she. They would consider that. They're not meant to, because they're not meant to discriminate. But you know how it really is. If you ever go through, God forbid, anything like this. Keep safe out there. I need to end it now with the stream to get some rest and to get something beside me. And switch off somehow. I really did not thought it was so serious when I got woken up by all this. And then went back to sleep, you see, until this afternoon I saw blood as well. Thank you very much, you thinking sad individuals out there. You know who you are without me to say anything much. You think you've got your outcome, have you? No, you're just going to get your comments one day. What you got someone to do towards me, it affected me this way. You will. You're going to have to answer to whatever belief systems, spiritual belief systems you have. You're going to have to answer to your actions. You might not think you have to do it in this physical domain or this earth. You wait till your spirit ends up, God forbid. You wait till, God forbid, you go on the way to work, you suddenly end up getting run over or get hurt. God forbid, if you end up losing your job and your aim, you end up in social housing experiencing what I do. God forbid, you end up serious complexity, physical health, and you end up in the state system like thousands of me out there. And please check out this various formats out there. And I'm going to just go mention the last week, a couple of people, well, not people, but formats, social media perhaps. Disabled People Against Cuts website. It has so much information of reality, on first-hand knowledge of thousands of people like me out there. who don't always have a voice either. I can't change the past, so I'm not going to dwell on it now. I used to have a habit of doing that. There's no point now. If anything my mum's taught me, it's how she's come through adversities, serious things in her life too. Sometimes it takes the death of a very close loved one, how to learn to react to things and not to react. Today, I think yes, natural reaction, extremely distressed and psychologically alarmed and added to my trauma in life. But how I work and react from now on is what is going to be monitored to. And I know my mum's taught me well. And my sister, bless her heart, she did mean well. But how they can get to your family and misinform them of your reality when they don't even live in your area is beyond me, I tell you that now. But be careful, be safe, God bless, keep safe, whatever your beliefs are. And when you individuals, you think, this has happened to her, blah, 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 blah. You ain't worth my breath. You ain't worth nothing to me. You have no humanity. To be paid, allegedly, to do something like this to individuals are vulnerable. And then to go and say, oh, that individual is not a reliable witness. And then to imply, unless you have your friends, your private life friends, come forward as a witness, there's nothing they would do. So be it. I am not bloody stupid not to realise what this is behind this, and I cannot go into factual things of evidence I know on certain subjects, as I said. I'm not going to give that information, it's private anyway. As I said, one thing at a time now, and I've got the dates at times and linking up to everything. And when that guy said to me, we're treating this as a criminal damage. That guy, from experience, a repair guy, right, he never ever says anything like that before. And how he said it, and while I watched his body language, he was genuine about his words. I've got a book about body language I've learned for years to read people. I started learning about much more. So when my friend witnessed what she did this morning of this male across the road, well, across the hallway from me, what she witnessed him after what happened this morning, I knew exactly it was individual. And that's this, the calls are recorded to everywhere now. The police, if one of an adult, you're meant to have a witness with you, chaperone. And they cold call at my home, find the repair. God bless everyone, I've got to go. I hope linking with the support network, well, I'll just find a way through this. Whether or not they're going to do anything against that individual, because what it's my private friend saw, well, we didn't know the serious criminal damage was there because the way my door and the peephole is. I didn't know about this till I got the text from a neighbour. Oh, he's texted me again. $22.8. Haven't seen you for a little while. How are you feeling? My neighbour says, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. And I just said, not good way, sorry to say, been in hospital and a more physical week and trying to plan a move way forward, new care and place to live now. How are you too? I'm being polite because it might be needed to just confirm what I heard this morning too. He's the one that heard what I heard, and my other friend to say, yeah. And I said it might be needed as a witness. It may not, but it's just maybe because this housing company's treating what happened. It's a criminal damage because they got a crime number of the police. Might not be anything. Police might do nothing, you know, because they got bigger things to worry about perhaps with the cutbacks going on. And so they just got a crime number, and the Home Group might just need a statement out on me. But unfortunately, I said to my social worker an update with her. She was frustrated, and as I said in her voice, because nobody in this area in the block flats had bothered to come and brush away the glass and stuff for me, so I could access the door. Because I said I have to stay home until it's mended, which I ain't going away anyway when I'm so ill. So just keep him by with his medication and yogurt and drinks and stuff. That's all you can do when you got dental health and stuff going on. Oh, so yeah, I've got photographs. I'm going to try and look at those photographs and get my mate to edit them, and before it gets too late, just checking the time. As you see on my desk, well, it's not my desk. Sad affairs today. The collar member of the police female spoke to meant well. I don't think they're so busy and stretched, so when I say I'm struggling to talk, they want the phone number. Why can't I have a bloody email? I'm struggling to talk at the bloody time. It's complicated, complex situation. So basically, the collar number I've got, again, the last end of this now, the reference incident number. I haven't got a crime number because that's for the owners, building, the company employees for to fund the repair job. So if it goes to this adult safeguarding, then they have to follow protocol. I know that. At least I know that. And they will go to, well, I just know certain things, put it that way. I won't repeat. And I forgot, and I think I'm just going to end that now and get some rest. So God bless, keep safe out there, and just realise that you just take one thing at a time, and that's all you can do. If everything happens all at once, you have to stop and take your devices off and have a break. So I forgot what my mate's trying to get to. Yeah, the photographs are off of the renders. I've got to check that on this device and make sure the battery is okay. Yeah, the batteries need charging. So when you're physically unwell, you've got to keep your health up, haven't you? Herbal teas, natural health, as best you can. God bless. Really difficult one. I think a lot of people do have a lot of problems, you know, trying to figure out which is what and who's meant to be doing what and when everything keeps changing. But as I said, in my mum's memory, I'll get there. And God bless if you're going through a lot yourself. God bless. Take care. We'll get there in our own ways, I think. We've all got our own way of coping, haven't we? Yeah? But I will never, ever forget, obviously, what's happened. But I will learn to forgive those that transgress against me, because that's what my mum would want to. Take care.